So your new special is out.
My new yeah. America's Sweetheart. June one's coming soon.
And you're like, ugh.
What is that impression of my special?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. You're a guest in my home.
Where you been and where you going? This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to You Be Trippin. It's a travel podcast. It's the only podcast that will not be allowed to skateboard by their Jewish parents. Today on the pod, my friend and landlord, Tom Segura.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming to this podcast studio I built.
Yeah, it looks great.
It does
man.
look pretty cool.
Yeah, it also feels very Ari.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
There should be hidden drugs places.
There should be a compartment. Like, oh, you think this is a globe? And then
Yeah,
it just
and then
goes like
something comes out.
Yeah, that does feel like you. Did you know kids like that? I remember the first kid 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That was like,
That was when the first kid was?
well, the very first kid ever born.
Yeah.
No, the kid that goes, I'm like, you know, when you're like nervous to drive with weed.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I have this. And his speaker came out and he's like, I just put it in there. And you're like, how do you do that? And he's like, just know this guy that fucking
does it.
modified. And you're like, what?
That's your skill set.
But that felt like James
Really
Bond.
drug
I was like,
fighters.
I know James Bond. Like, this is crazy. Or they would have the thing where like the CD wall, because you know everything used to like come out.
Yeah.
Like you'd take your CD player with you, you know, like in a car, and he had like a whole compartment that would go in there and be a hidden door for stashing shit, just for
wow.
weed. Yeah.
Those days are done.
Yeah. Now it's just like,
Now, as long as you're white,
yeah, if you're white,
fine.
there's a couple advantages, and one of them
Yeah.
is that like I was driving down 6th Street and there's a guy going just like smoking weed on 6th Street like this, and then like, I mean, 3 feet away was a cop.
And they're
Who's
just like, we ain't doing it.
yeah, they were just like, I don't, not even like, and you're like, wow, this isn't even like a state that's.
The
they're
most
just
I've gotten
I
is
don't
like,
care.
put that out.
Put that out, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a world.
What an amazing world.
You ever catch yourself in a white privilege where you like see it for a second, you're like, oh yeah, you guys don't get this, huh? Oh, that was great.
So many times. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Monroe was saying that I was talking about doing some bit about like some cop showed up at Times Square Park and I went up to ask. He goes, "You went up to a cop?" He had his gun out and you went up to him. I was like, "Oh yeah, you should." Like, I would run.
Yeah.
Where are we going? What do you want to do?
Oh, I thought we would talk about Tunisia because it's such a unique kind
Yeah.
of not, it's not in the regular list.
What is Tunisia where Star Wars was made?
Yeah, there was a Star Wars. Yes,
Okay.
the original. The
Okay.
original, right? When I think Luke's home. You know, when he's like at
Yeah.
home.
Endor?
I think that's Tunisia.
Okay.
Yeah.
That he comes home and everybody's burned alive.
Believe like this will tell us for sure.
Tatooine.
Tatooine. That's what I was thinking. Is that? Yeah.
How much of a tax break are you getting if you're going to go shoot there instead of like
God.
Mojave?
No. And also, this was before they were like, this is a fucking crazy script. Like they didn't know
It was
that-
going to be a hit.
Yeah, everyone
They're
was like,
going
this
to
is
make more off
insane.
dolls than their whole budget.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's Luke's home right there. Yeah.
This looks worse than Gaza.
So, so this is like, So I think everyone has their natural reaction of like, do you want to do something? Do you want to go do something?
Uh-huh.
And I think mine is like, I'm good.
What do you
right?
mean? Stay in a hotel? Why were you there?
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay,
So-
okay.
So I'm studying abroad.
Wait, go back. Yeah, what's the one over there to the bottom left? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, somebody-
Who's that artist? I know it.
That looks like a Minecraft character, honestly.
Yeah, it's not, yeah. Damn, nobody made it.
That's Obi-Wan's house exterior. That's what they put that there.
Oh,
That's
really?
very cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, sorry, forget it.
It's all good,
Don't know
man.
the artist.
So,
Pointless. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? When it's like, I'm saying my natural, like, I have to coach myself into just go do it. Like, if you're like, you want to go do this thing? I'd be like, I'm good.
Okay.
My natural thing is to stay in.
So yeah, but now okay, but in Iceland you're like, no, let's go do shit.
But that's been
You gotta fight it.
evolution.
Okay.
An evolution of like this is better. It's better to try things and do
That's what
things.
Big J is. And we were on the road. He's like,
Yeah.
come play Xbox that I brought. I'm like, let's go out.
Let's go.
We're
I
in
know.
yeah.
I might not be like the extreme of Jay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm in the middle, you know? But so my point is like, I'm studying abroad, which is obviously that's an adventure in and of itself, right? I'm studying in Madrid. It's like the choice to like, I want to study abroad.
He's in college?
In college, yeah.
Okay.
And one weekend, one of the classmates, an American classmate, is like, hey, what do you think of going to Tunisia, like for a long weekend? And I was like, no, I'm good.
You're in Spain.
Yeah.
Tunisia's Africa.
Yeah.
Algeria? No.
No.
Tunisia's a
Little-
country.
Yeah. So you go over to the right a little bit further.
That's right.
No, sorry, your other right. And then,
Tyrus. Wait. Okay.
so you have Morocco over the strait and then
Yeah.
to the right. Yeah. So you're in that area. So Tunis.
Benghazi, I've heard of that. Tripoli. That's where Sam was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got nothing. This is not an up-to-date map. Oh, look at that.
There you go. So
Okay.
he's like, do you want to go there? And I'm like, nah. Like,
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
no,
though.
I'm just like, no, I don't want to go to Tunisia. Like he, to his credit, gives me kind of a, not like a real kick in the ass, but he's like, dude, we're this close to North Africa.
Another American.
Yeah, another American.
Yeah.
He's like, when are you going to be able to do this? And I was like, all right. Like, I was like, kind of like embracing, do something adventurous. It's like, yeah, also you also kind of remind yourself this semester, I can do things like this. You know, like I remember like
Can't
one
do it back
weekend.
home.
Yeah, one weekend I went to Rome by myself, right? Because I'm like, I'm in Madrid. It's not that crazy to go. And I just did it. I did it for Paris. I did
Flights are cheap. You're already in the
yeah,
EU.
you're like,
was
I'm
it
already
EU back
here.
then?
I don't think it was EU.
Okay.
No. But anyway, but this is also a departure from Paris or Rome.
Yeah.
Right.
By the way,
I'm like,
Marcelo tried that same shit on me. Hernandez. He was like, hey, you want to come to a Latin night at a club? I'm not a club guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And he was like, why? What are you doing? I was like, well, I just finished my last spot. I was actually thinking of something to do. He was like, just come with. And I'm like, it's just not my scene. He's like, then just laugh at them and leave. Take a cab home.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can just
Okay,
do that.
yeah.
you
Yeah,
can just,
all right.
But I do think that like it's good to have those people around
Push
you
you.
who go
Yeah.
push you.
Yeah.
And this guy did push me. His name was Ryan, and I remember he was like, "Come on, dude! Like, let's just go."
Rest in peace, Ryan.
Ryan
This
died.
is dedicated to you.
And
Can you make an RIP for Ryan? Just put that in there right then.
I think he became a firefighter. I think
Is he dead?
I think he probably is dead. No, I don't think. So. But anyway, I remember we go there, and you fly in to Tunis.
Tunis Airport.
Yeah, and
Third
I don't
world,
know.
first world. How's it feel?
well, this is there's a couple things that like you just clock immediately. This is a thing in Morocco and in Tunisia is you just are blown away by the locals who are like young. They were talking about like teens and stuff. Their level of fluency in like they're all polyglots. They speak like 8, 9 languages pretty fluently. So like as we're when you get out an airport and everyone's like getting my cab and all this shit.
Trying to hawk at
And
you,
we-
yeah.
Bro, so they see us and they're like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And you're like,
Hey, would they do that?
and I was just like, pretend we're Spaniards. Like just pretend we're Spaniards.
Okay.
So I just answer in Spanish and they start speaking. I mean, 100% fluent Spanish.
Wow.
And as they're talking to me, this other guy walks by and like, boom, this guy's just speaking German fluently. I start chatting him up because I like languages, I always love.
You speak German?
No. I'm saying I love like just like language and the way like trying. Like I always study Italian. I speak Spanish. Like I always liked languages, and when I travel, I always try to learn certain phrases just
What?
to like. I always try to learn greetings, please, thank you, like just things to like show, hey, I'm not just like, hey, English, like
Yeah.
one of those guys.
No, it's good advice anyway. There's not that many words.
Yeah,
It's
just
almost like
to-
there's 10 words that if you just get those, you can
Then
kind of
everyone's
get by.
kind of like, oh, and they appreciate it, and it's
Please,
it's
thank
fun.
you.
Greeting, like a good morning, good evening kind of thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Where's the bathroom's always a good one.
Banyo, everywhere. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
And
it's-
then like, yeah, comida, something. Yeah, anyway.
Where's the good pussy around
1,
here?
2, 3, yeah.
So, as I'm chatting this dude up in Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, how many languages do you speak? Well, obviously, he's from Tunisia. He speaks Arabic and French. Like 100% fluently. His English is perfect. He's like, I speak Spanish, I speak Italian, I speak German, and then he's like, I speak Japanese.
What?
Yes, and then he speaks like another dialect, another Arab dialect, and I was like, and here's the thing, then you realize this entire pool of people does. They're just out there doing that every day. And it's like, you're like, holy shit. So we get to the hotel, which I don't recall like how we found this place or anything, but we had booked hotel room.
This is definitely pre-cell phone.
Yeah. Well, there's cell phones, but we're not like no smartphones. So
how do you find stuff then?
I really don't remember. But then we get to the hotel and we're like, well, let's just go explore. And we have this guy. So I brought a few pictures.
That's crazy.
I remembered
second scrapbook actually.
Really?
Yeah.
These are a bunch of old pictures, but I remembered like that.
Damn, where'd you even find this?
I had this.
And this is all you saved from the fires?
So this guy drove us around, right?
Damn, you're young.
I know.
Fuck. Who the fuck is this guy? He's the coolest guy I've ever seen in my life.
That's one of the guys taking us around, dude. And
what was the attitudes?
Well, it was
he seems so fucking cool. He seems like the Iron Sheik a little bit.
He was like, he's like taking us to like see like real Tunisia.
Whoa. These are your photos?
Yeah.
Wow. You look like Tony Hinchcliffe here.
Do I?
Yeah.
Gay?
Gay. You do. You have beautiful kissing lips. Not anymore. You've
Still
lost
have the
it.
same lips.
You guys got to see this. It's so much like Tony.
Okay. Wow. And I remember this.
What are these? It's just like a hut?
Yeah, just in a hut. We just went out and like here. How crazy is this? This is what we go inside of. Just like on a. They're like, we're going there.
Wow.
And there's a girl that's been tied up in the back.
You
can do what you want.
Where they just build a home into the mountain?
Yeah, man.
And then is that this?
Yeah. And it's like 4 billion degrees outside, so you need.
Is it like cooled because it's in there?
Yeah, like they figured out obviously how to like live in that and you needed.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and here's like Tunisian kids, bro. Like we're just like.
Wait, how far away is this from the main town, or is this a guided thing?
It's a guy. The guy drove us around, and like I'm just like hanging out, like seeing all the natural wonder that is in Tunisia.
Is this the closest you were ever to a brown person?
At that time, well, I played football.
Oh, right.
So, you said brown, not black. Yeah, pretty much.
Look how happy they are to be in pictures. Dude, kids love getting in a fucking picture that's going back to America.
A white guy picture?
Yeah.
They're like, hey,
Do they do the thing where they're kind of like, oh, I wish I could zoom in on their fucking cool-ass T-shirts.
I know.
See if anyone had a lost championship shirt,
Oh, right.
One of those that never won.
Yeah, like the fucking... Yeah.
Are they all giving the finger? Oh, they're giving the peace sign.
Yeah. They're all being pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here I am, like I got some sun and I'm feeling myself. And this is me and Ryan. And
That's Ryan.
That's Ryan.
Damn, rest in peace, bro.
Rest in peace, bro.
Ryan's a good-looking fucking gross soul patch.
Yeah.
Was it hookah big there?
Yeah,
Wait,
very
how'd
big.
you just gain 30 pounds between pictures?
Hey, dude, what the fuck, man?
What?
I'm trying to...
This one's way thinner than that one.
I'm being vulnerable right now.
Fat Tom's back.
It's just the angle.
Wait, is it all hookah there? Is that like the hookah culture?
Hookah is huge there, yeah. Huge.
Wow.
All right, so here's like I'm trying to figure out where things are.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna break in real quick to tell you about the guest. He's a accomplished stand-up comedian, and he's my boss. Not really. Sort of. One time me and Tom were in, he brought me to, this is when we were on like same level. He plays with a fucking rodeo place now. Wherever you're going to go see Tom Segura, he's probably playing where the rodeo plays. Now, let's get to me first. I got a new special right now on Netflix called America's Sweetheart. Yeah. It's the best work of the year. It's the #1 special of the year, everyone's saying. I know it's January. I'm aware. America's Sweetheart on Netflix. Have you watched it yet? I hope you're getting what I hope you get out of it, which is turn off the news, change your mind to like focus on the good things in life and not the bad. They're trying to push you into the bad things all the time. And me, through horrible, degenerate stand-up comedy, is trying to give you tools you need to live a happier, richer life. The joy of school shootings, mass shootings, spousal abuse, terrorism, anti-Semitism, all that and more in America's Sweetheart. Leave in the comments if you're watching on YouTube your favorite bits, the parts you stood out. I'm on tour also now, the farewell tour. I'm going to do one little tour till April and then one more gig in June in Anchorage. But then and then I'm done till 2027. I'm going to be in Los Angeles doing a storytelling show on Thursday, and then Brea and Nashville, both of those with Adrian Appalucci. San Antonio with Ari Matty, the Ari Squared show. Tampa, Denver. Denver's the greatest hit show. Schaumburg, Illinois with Adrian. Atlanta, Portland, both with Adrian Appalucci, the Dark Queen. Portland, I said that. San Jose, Orlando, Dania Beach, which is Fort Lauderdale, and then some big theaters in April is Seattle, Vancouver, second show added. Calgary, second show added. Edmonton, first show sold out, second show added. And then finally, that's until April 7th, ending in Anchorage, Alaska, June 18th. And then you won't see me for a long time. If I'm one of the cities on that list, you're not going to see me there until like 2030, 2029 maybe. I'm not coming back, so I'm going to other cities after that. Anyway, that's it. If you want to support the podcast, go to the Patreon, patreon.com/You Be Trippin right now. New episodes this week with Ryan O'Neal. Sagalo came in for some. I'm doing with other comics now. They're way more fun. Way more fun. Just keep sending your postcards. If you want to have a postcard read on the You Be Trippin podcast, send it to 151 First Avenue, number 49, New York, 10003. Postcards only. It's a little sliver of a box. But send it from around the world. Don't send it from America. And that's it. I also have a Feidelberg shirt available right now, a Stay Positive shirt available right now, both backing up the specials. They're fun. The Stay Positive one is a really fun one, and the Feidelberg one is a rest in peace, Yoni Feidelberg, true hero who made the Holocaust. You've seen this. Guys, if you didn't last till the closer, you're missing out. That closer is out there. The best was I saw a Hasidic Jewish man who was like laughing at my show enough, but then when that guy, he was like, he'd never seen anything like it. You could hear him in the audience. You could also hear the pollen in my nose for the first like 15 minutes. That's it. Tom Segura is on the road right now. I don't know, what's his stupid tour name? He always has great tour names. Come Together. That's not bad. That's really not bad at all. The Come Together Tour. Wherever the rodeo plays, Tom Segura will be there. Savannah, Charleston, Boston, Washington, D.C., Tulsa, Oklahoma, Durant, Austin, Texas, Evansville, Fishers, Chicago, where Michael Jordan has a statue outside. Everyone go to Michael Jordan's home and come on that statue. Then he goes to Europe-ish, Dublin, Belfast, Manchester, London, Glasgow. Harry, fucking go. Nottingham, Cardiff, New York City at the Madison Square Garden. Damn, I wish I was there for that. Oklahoma City, Houston, Fargo, St. Paul, Madison, Anchorage, Alaska, where I will be in June, Tacoma, Idaho Falls, Billings, Moline, Bristol, Virginia, St. Louis, Springfield, Massachusetts, Albany, Verona, and Rochester. For all tickets, go to tomsegura.com. For my tickets, go to arishaffir.com. This is a good episode. Tunisia. Anyway, next week, Jim Gaffigan. Let's get back to it. Tom, take us back to Tunisia.
So what'd you get into?
Right. So we do like the tour stuff, right? Of like see what I showed you, seeing.
Wait, let's keep these separate.
Okay.
Put them back.
No, I'll put them back in. Oh yeah, you're right. They're gonna scan them or something. Then I remember like we met.
Are those in any order or anything, or not really?
Oh, here, this is super touristy. No, not really.
Okay.
This is so touristy. But you know, I'm 20. I turned 21 on this trip.
Did you drink while you were there? Can you?
Yeah. But I'm saying I turned 21 on my trip to
Wow.
Tunisia.
What a good memory.
Yeah. I remember because I That's so touristy, right?
That's so cool though. Feeding a camel.
Yeah, I just.
What do you feed him? A pickle?
I don't think it was a pickle.
Oh, you wrestle it. If it was me, you'd be like, let the camel have it, Ari.
I remember that I met this Spanish family. This was a family.
Does everyone just wear turbans as if it's normal?
Yeah. Yeah. I met that family in that photo just on this trip. They were a Spanish. I just remember like seeing the photo now. I was like, oh yeah, this guy and his wife and their 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm studying in Madrid. And they're like, oh, we live in Madrid. And, you know, I just like chatted them up because I remember that I told them on like either the second day I saw them, I was like, oh, today's my birthday. And that guy was like, come sit with us and like have a glass of wine, you know, that kind of thing.
Those are good times.
Those are good times.
When you could just like.
And
all
I
right.
watched the sunset come over the desert, the sunrise over the desert on one of the mornings, like the day after my birthday, I think.
You woke up.
Yeah, and just we watched it rise. It was so cool to like see. You're like, I'm in the desert in Tunisia. I'm 21 now, and you know, it's just like a cool memory of that trip.
Yeah. Plus, anytime there's sunsets or sunrises, you're kind of like, I don't know. It just puts you in a place. Especially
does.
in the desert. You get up early, you see the light forming in this like other world that you don't live in, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I am somewhere.
Yeah, it's just, it's a real like, and also if you're not from this region, a desert is a real kind of special foreign thing where you're like, I don't, you know, because you always hear like people live in the desert, and then you're here and you're like, oh yeah, these people live here. This is not just a tourist attraction. They live here.
Right. It's not like a set.
No, they live in Tatooine.
Are they interested in it, or are they just like, whatever, it sucks?
They know that like it's like one of those things where they know the wonder of like the special stuff, and most people like have a lot of pride in what's
Their own.
special about their place. But
We had a tour guide in Costa Rica with my family, and they were like, do you ever get sick of like these monkeys or whatever? And he was like, yeah, I don't care at all anymore, but like I really want to see a deer.
really,
I'm like, oh yeah, they fuck it. My dad's like, they fuck up our figs all the time.
yeah, they're such assholes. You know, we kill them most
Kill
of the
them
year.
and just leave them. We kill them with the cars and
There's
just drive
such a
off.
problem that they encourage you to kill them. We told my mom.
We have to take down the numbers. Yeah.
My mom's so dumb. We told her there's a squirrel problem and that you're allowed to kill as many squirrels as you want here.
Yeah.
And basically almost got her to weep. And she was like, I love squirrels. And we're like, oh no, not when you see what they do to our country.
Is this where you're sleeping on? Are these beds like to sleep on? Where did you stay? Did you stay in a hotel?
I stayed in a hotel, but it wasn't like, you know, it was like that white, you know, structure, like clay kind of structure.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like fancy, but it was cool. They had their, you know, they had a breakfast that was like 4 guests, but don't picture like
Not a lot.
fancy. Yeah,
like
yeah.
chickpeas
It's
or
just
whatever.
Like whatever that, yeah.
Do you ever look back? I've talked about this with Bert. But do you ever look back on like those days?
Yeah.
And the absolute lack of luxury you needed to be happy.
You did. Here's the thing: you hadn't really, for the most part, experienced it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing when they go. It's like you never want to go back. It's like when you sit first class, you don't want to go back to economy after that.
Yeah.
But you fly economy for years, decades, and you're just like, yeah, it's fine.
what?
Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
I took a Greyhound bus to visit somebody before, so it's like,
And you weren't thinking like, this sucks.
you know, you think it sucks, but you're also like, yeah, this was like $50 or whatever
Yeah.
to travel 3 states. Like it's fine.
We went to Firefly Festival once in Delaware. And my agent, I was like, "Can you get us like tickets? I'll buy them, whatever." He's like, "Do you want like first class VIP?" I'm like, "Literally, no one in my group has ever even understands what that is.
Yeah,
we
they would.
just want to get in
Yeah.
and see the music."
They'd be like, "Is your dad in the band? Why do we have this?"
Yeah, like,
So here's where things turned for me on this trip is I'm in the hotel
yeah,
and like, you know, Ryan and I are like on the trip, but we're each like, he's like, I'm going to go do this. I'm like, I'm going to go do something else. You know what I mean? We're not doing everything together is my point. So I'm in the lobby of the hotel and I see a woman and she is like sitting, having a tea or a coffee and facing the window that faces like the outside, and this local guy is like mean mugging her through the window, right? He's just like, and I notice it, and I clock it, and I go over to her, and I'm like, you okay? And she's like, yeah. And I sit down. I just sit down next to her, And then the guy sees me and he goes like,
Sorry.
yeah. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I was in a store and he closed the door in the store and locked the door. And like, he's been like super, you know, it was like,
Aggro.
it was, yeah. And it was terrifying. So I came back here and then he's been walking by the window. And she's like, now he thinks that you're with me. So he just was like,
So you're marked for death.
marked for death,
Yeah.
but also like, got
He'll leave
her
me
off.
alone.
Yeah, he'll leave me alone. And so we used to start chatting.
He was like, "Oh, I would never.
Yeah.
I would never chat someone who was with somebody." You know what we did here?
Cool.
Okay.
That's cool, Chad. Is there a cool story there? So this guy, he leaves, and I can tell that she was like shaken by the, you know, that experience. But we just start chatting, and I'm, you know, I just kind of tell her like, yeah, I'm here with my friend. We studying and whatever. What about you?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm German, traveling alone, and you know, yeah. And she's like, kind of punk rock, you
Yeah.
know, like with piercings and some tats, and
Imagine her going home and it's like, "Is it safe there?" She goes, "No." Yeah.
and anyway,
What?
Yeah, so we start chatting, and then I forget the exact sequence, but then she's like, "What are you gonna do?" And I think she actually took the photo of the camel because we rode that together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went.
Well, you start hanging out with her?
Yeah, so hanging out with her. So
So it's like no one's this social anymore.
I know, and we ride camels, and
It's movie shit.
yeah, it's like a movie. I'm 99% sure she took the photo.
Photo credit that chick.
That chick.
Can you? Yeah, when you put up
We
that
walk
photo,
around.
can you put? What? Did you? Was there anything like flirty?
Yeah, like, but like, you know, the thing is not like I'm trying to capitalize on this. It was more like we have like a good rapport, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like natural flirtiness or whatever. I have a picture of her.
Really?
Yeah, this is her. This is us on that trip.
God, I hope it's Christina. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, German chick.
Yeah.
Where's this? What beach is this?
I don't remember. I really don't. I have zero recollection. She probably took this photo.
God, it makes me want to do this. It
I know.
really makes me want to do this.
She probably took this photo as well because that is probably, I'm assuming that's the same.
I think she.
Does that look the same?
but
Same beach?
it looks
Maybe.
different,
It does.
but maybe.
I think it's the same jacket. Looked like the glasses are on
Oh,
my
yeah.
shirt then. Yeah.
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 Hold on. Now I want to see her. Like, I really want to get there. I go. Oh, tomboyish. Yeah, she's pretty cute.
But her
Look at you
hair
with
is
your hand on her.
her hair is like,
What? Ratty?
no, it's up right now, but like she had long hair.
Oh yeah, tattoos.
So then we go, here's the thing, bro. We go back to the hotel.
Possible Jew.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Possible Jew. This is what I see. I'm seeing evidence. That's her wristband.
I've never seen that. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, she had like the high cheekbones, you know, little overbite.
Yeah. Old Shylock Holmes got to the bottom of it.
Fuck. Well, let me tell you what this fucking Jew did. So, we go to back to the hotel,
Yeah.
and first she's like, "I want to get some like weed or something, you know?"
Okay.
And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get some weed."
Can you?
Fuck no.
Oh.
We're in a Muslim country.
Is it the hashy kind of thing?
Kind of.
That's
but like,
Morocco.
yeah, it's more Morocco, but I'm
Okay.
sure it's there too. But I'm so dumb and 21.
And 21, yeah.
And like a girl is asking me to do something. So
I'll just say yes and figure it
I
out.
was like, yeah, I'll go get that. So I'm just like walking around like, you got any weed? Like,
Just
know?
putting a target on you.
yeah, and then some guys
I'm
are
an
like,
American with money and I want weed.
oh man. I end up getting a bag of something. That shit ain't weed. It wasn't weed, dude. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but it's not weed. Doesn't look like weed, doesn't smell like weed. I smoke it and something happens, but it isn't weed. I don't know how to describe what it is. But anyway, we both smoke this, and I'm like, first of all, it's like I give someone like $20, and they're like, here's half a pound of this, and you're like, this is weed. It's like they give you like
much?
a brick, you know. I was like,
giving you $1.
okay, so we smoke, and I remember we're at the hotel, and we go to the hotel pool, and I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you in the like I have trunks in my room. I mean, dude, she's at the hotel pool in an Arab country in a leather swimsuit. It's leather, and it looks like
That's so
bondage gear.
German.
It looks like bondage gear. Like it's like covering the nipples, and then there's like stars coming out of it, and it goes into a thong, and I'm like, what are you wearing? Right? Like I feel like we're gonna be executed for her bathing suit. Okay. I'm like, this is insane, because you just know natural like
I love when someone
lines.
doesn't know the danger. You're like, no.
You're like, dude, this is so. I'm retarded for buying whatever I bought.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like so crazy that she's wearing this in Tunisia, and I know it's not a
Who packed it for
it's not
Tunisia?
a conservative Muslim country.
Yeah.
So that's I'm
The
sure what
beach.
somebody will say, but it still just feels wild.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're hanging out, and
Yeah, everyone's dressed up on the beach.
yeah, right.
They're not even wearing skimpy shit on the beach.
No.
It's hard to see in the background, but
No, it feels completely insane. So I still can't believe what you pointed out on the wrist there. It's so crazy.
I went right to it.
Hi, everybody. Today's episode of You Be Trippin is brought to you by ShipSkis.com. Guys, the hardest part about skiing is not learning how to ski like a Jerry. That's what I got down. Yeah, I clog up the slopes for everybody who's just trying to have a good day. The hardest part is about getting your skis to the slopes on time. And ShipSkis.com can help you do that. Pick it up from anywhere, deliver right to the resort. I'm going to go around you. No, I'm going to crash. ShipSkis.com. They pick it up from your home, ship it right to the resort, hotel. Don't be a Jerry like me. Use ShipSkis.com. And right now, if you use the promo code ARI at checkout, you get this exciting offer. That's right. ShipSkis.com. Use the code ARI to help support this podcast. I'll see you when I smash into you at a high rate of speed without yelling, watch out. Right now, ShipSkis is offering my listeners 20% off your first shipment when you go to ShipSkis.com and use the code ARI. Go to ShipSkis.com and use the code ARI. Hi, guys. Today's episode of You Be Trippin is brought to you by Shopify.com. And guys, whatever you're selling online, why don't you set up your online business this year? Why don't you? You can sell off that fat you got to lose with your resolution. Store it in a jar, sell it off. Yeah, you're dumb fat. I'm sure somebody will be into it. People are weird these days. But that's not what I'm selling at AriShaffir.com. I do set up my online business with Shopify. It helps me connect with my audience, helps me set up an online store. Even a dumb idiot like me can set it up. Yeah, I've been using it for years, actually. Legitimately, it's a nice coincidence. Before this sponsorship started, I was already using their brand. But what I'm really selling right now at AriShaffir.com is Spotify. Let that sink in. I'm selling Spotify. And you might say, did you get permission for that? No, I did not. What are they going to do, invade? They're founded in Sweden, a country widely known as a place no one's scared of. You know what? And no country's ever said, Sweden's coming. I don't think so, Sweden. Your mascot stuff is all Vikings. They're dead. You're not going to do anything. Sell Spotify. You'll own Joe Rogan. Come to AriShaffir.com right now and buy Spotify. You can own Joe Rogan. You can cripple the YMH network. Send Tom back to where he was when he was trying to dunk a basketball. Cripple them. Buy Spotify. You'll own everybody. Who has a podcast on there? You'll own them pretty much, or at least cripple them. This podcast is on there. Possible mistake. Well, guys, start your online business. Do it now. Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at Shopify.com/trippin, all lowercase. Go to Shopify.com/trippin to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/trippin. I should sell Spotify, but without my You Be Trippin podcast. I'll look into it. Back to the episode.
So we end up like just getting high on whatever we smoked. We swim and all this. I think later on, I'm like, all right, I'll see you a little bit later kind of thing. I go to her room later and we start making out, and then And then she, takes my pants off and performs, I believe it's called fellatio.
Oh, it did work out.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. And
wow. No, that's
yeah.
pretty good.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. And I'm 21, like I told you.
Yeah.
And I blow like such a massive load, and and then when it's done, I go, "Do you want me to do you?" And she's like, "Yeah." So
would you also
yeah.
enjoy some?
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
Travel sex.
I know. So
Tom
then-
Segura.
Then we end up having sex, and I'm like, "You seem like you do heroin." Like she has like real thin, veiny kind of runaway vibes, and I go like, I remember being like, "I don't have a condom," and she goes like, "Who cares?" And
It's
I was,
German.
Yeah, I was like,
Put it on my butt.
I was like, "Yeah, who cares?" Right?
Which, by the way, as for a 21-year-old, like you're just like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon
Is
as
that the
somebody
rule?
else says, when the woman goes, "What?" You're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry." So
And I was just joking. I
Yeah.
just want to see your reaction.
yeah. It was just a bit.
Joking
I'm doing
about
a bit
people
right
I
now.
know who do that.
So we have sex, and she's also one of those who's like, "Don't pull out," And you're like, I'm like, "Okay, I'll never see you again." So okay, so raise my kid and be a good mom. But so I remember that I leave her room,
Yeah.
and I'm like, first of all, I'm riding the high of all this whole adventure, right?
Dude. Man.
And I go back to my room, and there's Ryan, and he's like, "Where have you been?" And so I tell him,
Having adventures.
I go, "Yeah, I remember that girl. We hung out, and like we did this, and then like we just hooked up." And he had met her. He had met her at some point, like in the lobby or something. And the very first thing he said, he goes, "Did you wear a condom?" Because he saw her. He saw those seedy
Tattoos,
German.
German.
And I go, "No." And he was like, "You will die." And I remember
21. This was also right around that time where you're like, oh no, that's all death. That's the only possible venereal disease to get is death.
death.
Yeah.
And I just remember going into like a pretty real panic about what I had done. Like pretty panicked. It was like, it affected my sleep. It was like, affected my stomach. I was like, I really thought I'd made like a huge mistake with this, And so I have a rough time with it, and I'm like, whatever. Like, you're not texting anyone. Like, there's nothing like that. So
You just have to like hope it doesn't
yeah,
stick.
you're just like, I'll see if I die soon. Now I go back to.
Did you wash your
sorry.
dick at least?
Yeah, I probably scrubbed it pretty hard.
Okay.
In the morning, I have the breakfast. Wow,
Sorry, go ahead.
that had to sound incredible in the earphones.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
You guys wearing the cans?
That was pretty beefy. That was like
It really was. That was a jerky stick that you
yeah,
had in
that's
there.
a meaty fart. I
yeah,
could tell.
that's grass fed.
I would have guessed meat. So the next morning, I'm like, I'm bothered by it still. Nervous.
I would love to say I haven't been there.
And I'm downstairs doing the. I didn't really sleep. I'm like having the breakfast, and I see her, and she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Well, we're leaving in a few hours, back to Spain." She's like, "What? Like, why are you being like this?" I was like, "I think it was, I was just kind of nervous about what we did. We didn't use protection, and she was like, I'm on the pill," and I was like, "Yeah." It's just really that you look dirty.
You seem like a whore.
Yeah. No, but
I don't know what you said to that Arab guy.
I go, I just, I don't remember how but I'm just like expressing it. She goes, "Here, take this." And she
Hold on.
gives me,
Okay, go
she
ahead.
gives me pills, and I don't ask what they are. I just take them. And they're like Xanax. They're like anti-anxiety pills.
Oh, I thought they were going to be like,
And I'm like, and then we go to her room and we have sex again, unprotected.
I mean,
And she gets mad that I pull out this time. I pulled
Why'd you
out.
pull out?
I don't
now
know.
you know she's on the pill.
I just
you already
didn't
dropped
care.
one.
I wanted to see it, how far it could go. And
You,
no, I was like, and she's like,
I thought she was gonna pull out like an antibiotic or something to like.
no. She was like, oh,
just
this is
calm
what
down.
fights this. Yeah.
This is the coolest chick I've ever heard of.
She was rad. Yeah. I was lucky. I had like,
She's somebody's mom now who has no idea what a cool fucking badass German mom they have.
she aborted for sure. She's not the type, I don't think, to raise them.
Ever 35, found Jesus.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Maybe-
Got
maybe.
to be a bit normal.
maybe made the switch,
Yeah.
converted, and was like, kind of want to see JC one
You
day.
fucked again.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And it also shows you like how I feel like I'm the one who was full of the doubt, and how the male mind works, where like as soon as someone reassures you and they're like, you can do it again, you're like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah, thanks.
Like for 12 hours, I was like, I didn't do the right thing. And then she's like, you want to do it again? I'm like, okay, yeah.
This is what it's like to be a cokehead. When you're like,
Yeah.
I'm quitting. Like,
It's a total.
actually, I'll just have 10 lines.
I'm a cokehead, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then,
What
yeah,
did Ryan say?
when I told him,
Yeah.
he was like, you're fucking stupid, man. Yeah, he was like, you're insane. Which, like,
I'm on the pill, though, is reassuring. Like, that part you don't have to worry about.
That's true, because you are thinking about that. I mean, the fact that, like, the protection part. Like,
This chick's
you're
also
like,
traveling. Just has drugs and the pills on her.
yeah, she knows how to do it right. And and
Caitlin, you got to up your fucking game.
wouldn't it be, you know what I just thought of in this moment?
Yeah.
It would be so fascinating to hear her version of this story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, you always hear, like, when your friends tell you a story, you're getting their POV on that. But, like, what if she was just like, I met this guy, I thought he was gay, and you know,
Took his virginity, I think.
I think
He wasn't very good. Came
he
in
was
like no
crying because he fucking came in me.
time. He was such a dork.
Yeah.
I had to give him some of my
It's the
drugs.
last time I ever fucked an American. Anyway,
Didn't even do it in the butt.
no, he was just like, oh, isn't it dirty back there? And yeah,
Wow, that's so cool. This is all in Tunis.
all there. Yeah. Yeah.
What was Ryan up to?
I don't
What did he
even
get
know.
into? You don't know?
I really have no idea. He really was. He's just like a supporting character in my mind of this story. I just don't. I don't remember doing really anything with him. I guess on that first day we did do that tour together.
Yeah. This is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I know this sounds like a just my sexcapade, but I hope
Yeah.
what comes across
What'd you eat? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
is the fact that, you know, that sounds like it's to me, that thing was an adventure, right?
you also weren't there to get laid.
No,
It
it's
found
the
you.
last thing in my mind, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to get laid this time. This is where I was trying to get laid.
Was that your mom?
Yeah. This was in, these two I just stumbled on in Rome. And I was like,
What do you mean Rome?
I was just walking around Rome.
Now you're thin again.
Stop.
You're way fatter there than in
No,
Rome.
way?
Much? Yeah, these chicks are hot too. for sure.
Yeah. But that's just, to me, like, that is also the example of you're wanting to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, nothing happens.
It's gonna push.
And then, then the,
So I can see these.
I
chicks
tried to
do
find them
this.
on a podcast one time.
You like help me find who these are?
Yeah, I put that photo out and I was like, let's find these two.
Wow, that one on the right is so. Actually, the one on the left is pretty hot too.
Show me.
Show me.
So the one
I
on the
think
right
blonde, yeah.
worked as an actress at some point, I think. I remember her talking about that. The one on the left, the brunette, what I remember is she was like, she had met Michael Jordan as a waitress at a nice cocktail bar. And that's what I remember, like being like, what was that like? Yeah.
Meet the man who met
This
the
is
man who
like
met Andy Griffith.
2001. So, you know, I was like,
That is a claim to fame.
what was he like? Did you jack him off? You know, like
Maybe.
maybe. Yeah.
So okay, let's go back to Algeria. No, Tunisia.
Tunisia.
What was the food, the bathrooms?
The food is like, you know,
Cheap, expensive.
it was cheap. There was like, you know, like the pitas, like hummus, and a lot of things that are, you know, like
Yeah.
very veggie heavy. There was like kebab stuff. And yeah, we had like, there was no option, by the way. There is no Burger King where we were. There, like you just had to be like in. And it was all, it wasn't the cuisine that I go, that's what I'm seeking out all the time. But it's like, it's the experience of like, of being in it, right?
Yeah.
It's like fresh. Everything was palatable. It was just like, I remember just being like, I do remember breakfast being like, well, you eat this at breakfast? Because breakfast is always the
Yeah,
mind-blowing
what do they have? Like
meal.
chickpeas? It's like,
like
in Asia, it's all like,
It's just always seafood.
give
And
me a
you're like-
fucking egg. Yeah,
you're
what's
like, you
this
don't
fish?
want fish soup? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But you realize that they must come over and be like, you eat fucking eggs in the morning? It's just, why are you eating cake? You're eating cake
another
with
good point.
syrup?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know. This is what we have. But
Did you have any like epic-y meals? Like, oh, that's that family invited you over is one.
that was more like a cool moment of them being like, I think that dad really liked that. His daughters were flirty, by the way.
She looked cute too.
They were like, you could tell they were like good family, and they were like, oh, here's a 21-year-old guy who's traveling alone. Like they were like, why don't you call us when you get back to Madrid? And I did. Like I swapped numbers, and then nothing ever happened in Madrid. But I think on the vacation they were more playing it against. Like I felt it was like rebelling against dad in a way, And dad was also like, it's cool that you're studying in my country and that you're here and everything, but like you sense the thing of like, don't try to fuck my daughters, okay? And you're like, okay.
Like, I don't have to try.
I don't. Yeah.
If I just fuck this German chick, I can get whatever I want.
I'm with this heroin addict right now, so
Yeah, like who'd you eat with normally, or just?
I definitely ate with German girl. I definitely had a meal with the Spanish family, and I probably had something with Ryan. None of the meals stand out as like epic. Like,
How would you ask this question? Where I want to know people not exactly what they ate, but like when it's like, oh, this family had us over. I don't care about the food, but I remember them like we had to do a little dance before every meal. Something where it's like the meals themselves instead of the food. How do I phrase that?
Like,
Feasts? No, but that still sounds like food.
well, it sounds like you're wanting to know like what was the experience of. Like, is there any meal that was a memorable experience?
Like if I had to talk about like after the last sober October, it's like we all went out to eat. It's like I'm not talking about the steak. I'm just talking about the conversations.
Yeah.
we had.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It was a bunch of friends in this back room.
Yeah. Because what
Yeah,
I
how do we
remember
phrase
about
that? Sorry, what we remember about?
No. What I remember about the sitting with each like that Spanish family was the fact that we were having a moment, and that the father actually was like really curious about how I was enjoying Spain. He was a Spaniard, and it was like talking to me about what I'm studying and my life. And I remember like being with that family. I don't remember what we ate,
The cool thing about travel too is you meet, from that guy's perspective, he's in Tunisia, finding out what life's like in America.
Yeah. From a kid studying in his country. Yeah.
And he's like, we could have done it in Madrid, but we didn't. We had to come here to like have this meetup.
Yeah. Strange, right?
Yeah. I've met more Germans in like Asia than in Germany.
Really?
I mean, kind of. It's like we have the deepest conversations. You're both not doing anything.
Cool
So
Germans.
if someone else is at the the hostel or this,
What's your
it's like,
take on Germans? Is there similar qualities?
Yeah, they're okay. So it's like so the saying in China is like from Hong Kong. Hong Kong hates Chinese people.
Yeah.
They hate the most racist I've ever seen
hate the
anywhere.
mainlanders.
The mainlanders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Derogatory slur. Mainlanders like ooh.
Yeah.
Or like say it, fuck them. But they go, not every mainlander will take a dump in a mall, but if you see a human dump in a mall, it was a mainlander.
Yeah.
So like not every German will fuck on a bunk bed above you in a hostel.
Yeah.
But they're the ones doing it.
Because like
They just fuck a lot, but they're cool. They're adventurous.
so they're the most sexually.
And then the German chicks are just nutty. The
Really?
Berlin chicks, especially.
I don't know because I'm just so far removed from that.
Berlin is wild. Anyone in Berlin, I bet she was from there. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's like other industrial places.
I loved when I was in Italy last, and I'm like, they're like, because I tell them how much I've been love the Italian language, and I've been practicing.
Speak to Matteo.
Yeah, no, I've spoke to Matteo about it, and I've been studying. I even worked with a tutor, just like trying to, and it's my Spanish proficiency helps with it, right? And so, I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, so how do you feel about the Spanish? And he's like, oh, they're great. And then you're like, well, who do you not like? And they're like, what are you kidding me? The fucking French. They're the fucking worst.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know, he's like, who likes French people? And they're like, but they're like so
It's
open
such a
about
given
it.
that,
They're
like,
like,
what?
I go, well, you like their food? And he goes, no, their food's disgusting. And I'm like,
What?
okay, French food? And he was like, ugh. Yeah.
It's known for that.
I know. It's just, but it's so funny the neighbor disdain. You know, of they're just like I hate them.
Where are these all from?
Oh, different trips, man.
Oh,
They're all
wow.
different. Yeah.
So wait, what? Hella fat here.
Stop.
All right, it's a different time, but dude, come, shut up. That's a piece of shit.
That's not that fat yet.
Wow.
It gets fatter.
I once in a while will see something from you from when we met,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, because now in my memory you're back to this.
Yeah.
Like when I think of you, you're back to this.
this looks all right, right?
Yeah, it takes a while when someone loses or gains weight. You still picture them as before.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, what were we saying? So how would you phrase that epic meals kind of thing, or like memorable meals? It
Yeah,
still focuses on food.
No, but I think if you say, what was your most memorable experience with food
Yeah.
or with a meal, people's mind doesn't I don't think their mind always goes to what did I eat. You start thinking about the experience.
I just want to get someone to so even if they go on the actually on the way to something once, it's like great, dude.
Yeah.
Talk, yeah.
Yeah.
Did this feel dangerous at all, Tunisia?
What
When you were there?
Trying to buy drugs felt really stupid and dangerous.
How'd you get them?
I
Who? Yeah.
one of the people was like, it was a guy on the street that ended up just taking us to a back alley kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, this is insane. And there's that moment that you feel like this is probably an undercover person, you know? Like
Oh yeah.
And so when I
You're
actually,
like either you're hiding from the cops to do this, or you are the
Are a cop,
cops,
yeah.
or you don't want the
and
cops to do what
everybody,
you've
by
done
the
to
way,
do to me.
everyone that you talk to is hustling you. You know what I mean? So
Is this all Tunisia?
that's Tunisia, yeah.
Is that the chick?
No, that's a Spanish girl.
Oh. Everyone's hustling you, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like they're getting
so-
over on me.
When you're like, I'm buying drugs, your brain is also going like, you're about to get arrested or killed, you know? Yeah. Yeah, that's not.
It's scary.
That's not cool.
I was in Barcelona at that. What's that?
Also, buying
Madecon?
drugs in most places
Yeah.
that are foreign, you realize you're running a pretty big risk.
Yeah. What's the main drag in Barcelona?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Las Ramblas.
Los Ramblas, yeah. There's side story. The Dream Team was there when they're doing the Olympics there,
Yeah.
and they're all getting mobbed.
Yeah.
Everybody's on them because
Yeah.
they're fucking these 6'10" black guys. They just
Yeah.
don't look like they're from there. Even the
Yeah.
Olympics are still like, what the fuck? And then John Stockton's just walking by himself. Nobody's even. He's like just some 6'1" white guy.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah,
they're like,
unassuming.
you're not anything special.
I was walking there and I was trying to find weed. And I was like, we need to find some weed. I don't know
Yeah.
where to get it. And then some guy's like, you want weed? And I was like, no.
Yeah, yeah,
And then as soon as he walked away, my chick was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I panicked.
yeah. But it makes sense to panic.
Yeah.
That's the normal reaction. I remember I bought a lot of hash in Madrid. In
yeah.
studying abroad, but that was like
How long were you there for? A year?
6 months.
6 months. What a cool
Yeah.
time, huh?
that was the best. I encourage anybody that can to do it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: you don't obviously you realize it more after, but you'll never have that type of freedom in life. It doesn't even matter what your resources are.
Yeah.
Just to be like, if you had the opportunity to go, that you're in a foreign land and you don't have a mortgage yet, or you know what I mean.
It's
You
the only
don't
time
have-
you can do it.
It's
You
the
can
best
be
time to do
poor
it.
somewhere else.
and you'll still enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
You'll
And
have-
also, I wouldn't even get bogged down on, is it the exact right country?
No,
Just like, just narrow down, but just go. Pick one and go. You're going to have a good
I
time.
remember that I was supposed to go to my school had a program, an exchange program
Yeah.
with I think Gibraltar,
Really?
And
Where'd you
my-
go to school?
in a small college in North Carolina called Lenore Ryan, but they go, oh yeah, you'll go to Gibraltar, and my mom was like, no,
What?
she's like, you can't go there, you have to go to Madrid, and I go, I'm so high there, by the way,
This one?
we're
No,
both,
that.
we're so high, we're so high.
It's at
And
college.
the same kind of thing happened. No, that's in Peru. That's in Lima.
Oh, wait, that's this guy. Yo,
No.
oh my God, these eyes are red.
No, that's a different guy, by the way.
Him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we had bought weed in Lima.
Look how I read your eyes.
I know, dude. Look how fucked up I am.
You look.
And the same kind of thing happened in Tunisia. I gave a guy $20 and he was like, "You want a kilo?" I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
They upsold you.
And also you smoke it and you're like, "This doesn't feel like weed." And then all of a sudden I was like, "You hear those trains coming?" Like I was like
What?
just hearing sounds and I was like, "What is this?" I mean, it doesn't feel like anything I'd ever smoked.
Isn't that, what do they have different shit in different countries? I don't get it.
I felt like it was fucking.
We in Ecuador we had to find a pandemic also. We kept trying to like let's just go up to people if we see them in the river. But
Yeah.
then it was like don't come near me. It's a pandemic, you know. So we finally find some at a head shop. Like, can you locate? Like, come back tomorrow. I'll find some. And it was like the same thing, like that much. It was like $1 a gram. It was like 30 grams for $30.
But then you look at it, you're like, "What is this?" And
Yeah.
you're like weed, and you're like, "No."
We found later it was like this much for $30, but this got me way higher. It was like psychedelic.
Yeah, this is like psychedelic. Like, I mean,
Is there a different kind of weed that I don't know about?
I don't know, dude. It was.
ChatGPT? Do you know?
Is there? That was not like any experience I've ever had in my life. What you're looking at there, like nothing I'd never.
Because you had smoked before,
so much.
right?
I was a daily smoker then.
Amnesia haze. Oh, interesting.
Oh wow.
Well, they just heard us get quiet. Amnesia haze from the amnesia seeds. All right, it just says where it comes from. Hey, did I ever show you how everyone reads stuff out loud on podcasts?
Yeah.
This is it. Amnesia haze from the amnesia seed was psychedelic cannabis craze began since 1996 when it first came out. This poet said
Or else
no
you
one.
do it-
Yeah.
And then this is what it's like to do it with Bert. He goes, "Amnesia haze and friend." You read it, Tommy.
He puts his glasses on and he goes, "Oh, I'm illiterate. It's not I didn't actually go to school for 9 years."
Wow. Hey, drink in here. Yeah.
We were doing it on a Rogan. And he like reads it, but like you're just like so far ahead that you
Yeah.
finish. You're like, catch up.
Okay.
Wow. Where? What would you? Okay, some travel advice for Tunisia. What would you tell if you had to go back? Would you ever go back?
Well,
You did it.
I did it. I feel like I don't know that I would have. I think I would have a different experience now that I say it, but
You'd land like that German chick better not be here. If you get me in a lot of trouble.
I don't know. I feel like for me, what I would do now is
Yeah.
probably just explore. I would go to maybe Morocco to see what the experience is like there, you know, or go to a place like I still want
You did
to.
it so right.
Yeah, the
This
cool
wasn't one of those
thing-
trips where I'm like, I'm hearing you talk about it, go, I should have done this or this. It sounds like you
Nah.
fucking dove in.
I dove in. There's an age that is a factor too of like, we must have made our reservations either online or over the phone with somebody. We met the guy that gave us the awesome tour. There's the crazy element of like, you know, the thing about, I know it sounds like I'm trying to talk about getting laid, but the real thing about that is just shows you that approaching somebody is 90% of something. Like, it's just the fact that I saw this person and I literally I saw this guy looking at her like, and by the way, this happened to me in Madrid one time where I saw a guy, we used to go to the plazas a lot and there'd just be like young, you know, people my age. I was 21 hanging out. It was like a place where people would gather and people would be smoking or, you know, going in and out of clubs. And I saw a guy one time who was clearly mentally ill and he was like yelling like aggressively and to this girl, and she had another girl with her, and they looked so shell-shocked and like tears welling up because this guy wasn't letting them go. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, sure.
And it wasn't, you could tell that like this isn't their friend losing their shit at them. This is like a street guy. And I just went up to her and greeted her like I knew her.
You saw, like,
Yeah, I saw it. And I gave her a hug and I was like, hey, and I was like, oh, what's going on?
because worst case, you read it wrong. She's like, get off me. And you're like, all right.
Yeah. And then that guy just yelled a few more things and I just was like, no, I get it, man. I get it. Because he was like going off on whatever's going on in his head. And I was like, no, I get it. I get it. Then he walked away and she was like, thanks. And then left, right? And I didn't know what was happening in the hotel. I just saw that this is something weird. But it's just the fact that like you sometimes see things. It doesn't have to be a threat of violence. I just mean that like you see people and you go, like people always say like, why don't you just say hi? Just
try.
Just try with someone. Just say hello. Yeah.
When you're traveling, you're just open to it too.
I think you're more, aren't you more
Both sides.
social?
Yeah.
I'm way more social.
Seems like I'm out of my element. After like
Yeah.
half a day, I'm just like, I need someone to talk to. So
Yeah.
if they come at me, I'm not like,
Yeah, no. Anyone that says hello, I'm an open book. I'm just start telling them everything. Yeah, I think it's also that is like the real adventure of like when you travel, because I stayed in like hostels in a bunch of European cities.
Yeah.
Is that you're meeting all these people. I mean, I remember I took a walk with a guy that I met in the hostel. He's from Switzerland, and we are walking in Rome together, and
somebody you just met.
we're just taking a walk, and a gypsy lady threw the baby at him and did that whole that I thought was also like a myth. Like I'd heard about it, and she throws the baby, he catches it, she puts her hand in his pocket, takes all his cash, and I turn into a fucking murderer, right? Because I don't like gypsies to begin with, and I just fucking
That's your Spanish in you.
I verbally
Yeah.
assault this woman so aggressively.
Well,
Just terrifying in Spanish at the full volume. Like, "Hitaro de mierda!" Just fucking crazy.
yeah. It frightened me a little bit.
Yeah. And she reaches into her bra, pulls the cash and gives it back to him.
Oh, wow.
And I also think he looked at me like, hey, you're unstable.
Like,
you
geez,
know?
dude,
Yeah.
$2. Yeah.
But, I just went from going, that was
Just travel to calm you.
that's the thing is that I just.
That's crazy. You saw one of those? The
I
baby
saw
chuck.
that. I saw the baby thing. I'm sure there's people who go, yeah, it doesn't really happen. I mean, it happened to the person I'm walking with. Like,
And he just naturally goes to catch it. You have to.
It's like
and then when do you get your baby back if you're the gypsy?
right away. They just go, oh, and as in the cat, because there was two women. One kind of bumps up on you, and one is like, "What are you doing, my baby?" It's like it's very like savvy the
you're
way
like,
they
"Get
do
up."
it.
Yeah.
And the hands in pockets, and you're gone. But like, it's, the thrill of yelling at her, I would not have had
Yeah.
if
true,
I hadn't
yeah.
walked with him. Yeah.
That's a memory that stuck with you from going
Yeah.
off with some fucking dumb Zurich.
And honestly, like the cool chicks that like some of it was flirty, whatever. Never hooked up with them or something, but you're like, I just met this like really awesome woman.
Like it spans your horizons.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
I've
You're
gotten more from feminism from talking to European women.
Yeah.
Because I have this theory that like Americans we're among the dumbest of anything. Our sports fans are like, my guy's the best. Like, why? Is it cuz? And our feminists are the same way.
Yeah.
Just dumb bravado, but applied to feminism, applied to sports, applied to anything.
You're saying we have the dumbest women here?
Dumbest people. Well, yeah. That's right. Dumbest feminists, dumbest fucking masculists or whatever.
Yeah.
All of them. And then you meet a European one like, oh, you've expressed this in a way that I can understand it now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. And then their cute face gets you in there to like talk,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, this is like an awful one, but you remember like snippets that we were at a hostel. Some of the hostels also have like the outside social area.
Yeah, I love those.
And I had walked into a conversation, because there's always conversation. And it was a South African guy talking about how you don't understand how our blacks are. Yeah. And we were all like, what? Because apartheid was not that old.
Yeah.
It only ended 6 years earlier.
They're probably like, so I don't have a lot of stuff I used to have. My life is not as easy as it was.
He was just like, you guys with your fucking equality shit, you don't understand.
What?
And they were like, but that's the thing, is that's also like that's a life experience kind of thing where you're like, oh yeah, this is also, there's people like this, right? Like he was like trying to tell us like apartheid fucking was
Rules.
right, it was awesome. and you're like,
That's
wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, you could tell what the dynamic was because everybody was so like quiet.
Yeah.
And he was lit. So he had more bravado to him. But I remember that guy being like, fucking, you guys think they're great? why don't you come to South Africa? And we were just like, okay, dude. Like,
We met a guy and it reminded me of the same thing. Me and Bobby Kelly, we were doing the Denmark Comedy Festival, Copenhagen. It was like 8 people. And but one of the guys was South Africa. He was like, no, it's a great idea. But then you have one leader, and then he retires, and then they're going to elect someone who's uneducated because of what we did to him. So now you have a fucking Zulu warrior as your president who has 10 wives who thinks you can fuck AIDS out of you.
yeah.
You're like, oh, all right. Anyway,
You're like, "Ah,
good pastries here in Denmark, though, right?
yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, what would you? Yeah, the gap year stuff. Also, I don't think we do enough here. The year abroad or the semester abroad.
I started talking to my fucking 3rd grade son about that. Like, I need to do it
Start
now.
planning?
I was just like, you got to do a gap year. Because I remember that, like, you probably could not have talked me into it because I had you got to get to the next thing, you know? But looking back, I'm like, I think those are brilliant. There's no other time you can do that.
The ones I met when I was like in Asia,
Yeah.
Southeast Asia, the ones that were doing it between either high school and college, Canadians a lot, were just like, how much do you have to save up? They're like, 14 grand, and it's a year. Like, that's not a crazy amount.
You could work your job with your discipline in mind of like, this is what it's for, and you could do it. And there's a thing, like, I'm talking to a 3rd grader about it. I was like, what? But I'm like, no, here's the thing, man. Like,
Dad,
let's just
I hated
say,
the flight to New Zealand. I don't want to do this again.
let's just say like you just love photography or something. I go, you could just go and spend a year, you know, just going to places and taking photos. I was trying to like give them examples. And I was like, you don't have to worry about it yet. But I was like, I hope you do it. I hope you do a fucking gap year.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I think it's great.
Either between high school and college, between college and grad school.
Oh, that one.
Or between college and a job. Defer your jobs, like if you work for a big company.
Yeah. I think it's yeah. And if you're like an in-demand person, you could probably get your gap year financed by one of these companies, you know? Like if you're somebody they're competing for.
Yeah. Rolf, in this book, he says like you should, like if you had your resume, like how to handle the resume, you've been gone for a year.
So
how
wait.
to handle this bridge, what?
I was actually thinking of one thing as a quick aside before I got into the other one.
Okay.
And the one was just because, so the quick one was that, you know, my kids are now 9 and 6, right?
Yeah.
And you start to have this thing when you have kids where you realize that there's a ticking clock on like innocence and wonder, right? Where there's gonna be like, we're still at the age where it's like, Dad, you know, and like one day they're gonna be like, what's up, man? Like, you know, like, you're like
Shut
all
up,
right.
Tom. I didn't say you could say that.
Yeah, yeah, and they're just gonna be like, "What? I don't give a shit," you know.
Yeah.
But they still have that wonder and excitement and innocence that you realize is evaporating, right?
Yeah.
And so, last year, so my kid, my oldest, loves Minecraft.
Okay.
Minecraft is the game, the video game. That came after when we were. I'm sure we would have been into it if it was around when we were kids.
Wait, what was the one where you had to flip over squares? Wasn't that Minecraft?
No, Minecraft is
That
like
was Minesweeper.
Minesweeper.
Minecraft is like you
That's
build,
what I got out of video
you
games.
build like a whole society in this
yeah.
game, right? And it's so massive.
Sims.
It's so fucking massive. I didn't realize until his obsession just the scale and scope of Minecraft. It's beyond comprehension how popular this is worldwide. And so as he was like, you know, getting into the game more and the obsession and everything, you're just like, you know, you're just with your kid and you're seeing what they love, right? Because when I was a kid, I would have been like football and basketball and that kind of thing. And it's this game. So I'm friends with Jason Momoa, and I knew he was doing the Minecraft movie. And at one point I was like hitting him up. He goes, "You should come visit the set." And I normally I'd be like,
Yeah, but your kid.
but I go, "It's in New Zealand."
Oh.
So I'm like, well, no. But then I go, man, this is just not gonna be an option at some point, right? So
And
like,
you know he's into it.
and I know he's into it. Wouldn't it be cool? This to me felt like the equivalent of like, if when I was a kid, they were like, "Do you want to meet Michael Jordan?"
Yeah.
You know, and you'd be like, "Oh, what?" Like you just freak
so
out.
far to go.
So there was spring break last year, and we had our regular, like, revisiting family in Florida. And then I have that crazy idea, and I tell Christina, I go, "What do you think? I know this is crazy."
Christina's like, "No, I'm going to Daytona Beach."
She's like,
What do you mean? I got my bikini ready for spring break.
I'm stripping right now.
Yeah.
What are you talking- I just go, what if I take him for a couple days, like quick, but to the Minecraft set. Like it's something that like he would never forget, and this is his such an obsession. And she was like, you should definitely do that. So I tell him, I go, hey man, what do you think if we go? It's a long flight, but you'll see where they're making the Minecraft movie. And he's like, what? Yeah. So we're in Florida.
Yeah.
We fly to Dallas.
First of all, that's so much better than telling like a comic, even if they were way into it, like, nah, it'd be cool, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This way, it's just like,
But
what?
And I could tell, you know, there's so many things that you don't get that reaction anymore is my point, right?
Yeah.
Like at a certain age, you'd be like, yeah, all right, cool, man.
Yeah.
So it's like real, do you want to meet Santa Claus, you know? And the kid's like, what? So we get on a flight in Dallas, and it's Dallas to Auckland direct. It's 18 hours. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell him how long it is. And he's like, yeah, all right, cool. I got my iPad. I'm like, all right. Dude, we're like
You're gonna take 2
3
sleeps.
hours into this flight. He's like, is it any longer? I'm like, it's 15 hours longer.
We haven't even started. We're
It's
still
so
going
long.
up.
And he's
Yeah.
like, wow, man. And then, you know, anyway, he's like melting down on this flight. He's like, this is so long. I'm like, I know. So the worst is when
18
there's,
hours is an abstract idea.
dude, when there's 6 hours left.
Yeah.
When there's 6 hours left, you're like, all right. Like me, I'm like, I know what that is. And he's like, are we now approaching New Zealand? I'm like, there's 6 hours. And he's like, what the fuck, man?
Those Australian flights are crazy because you're like, oh, sweet, we're in the last third. We're like, that's still a cross-country
It's
flight.
so long,
Yeah.
bro. And then you get there and they're like, you're going to Perth tomorrow. It's 6 hours. You're like, what the fuck?
yeah.
So we land. He's just like, all he can talk about. He was like, I cannot believe that we spent 18 hours on a plane. That was a really bad idea, Dad. I'm like, great. So he hates the flight. He's like, is it that long on the way back? I'm like, no, but it is 15 hours on the way back, you know, because you catch the tailwind or whatever. He's like, oh my God. That's all he can talk about. I'm like, look, dude, let's stop talking about how long this awful
But
flight
it's
is.
happening.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So we go to the hotel and I'm like, let's chill for a little bit. And then, you know, I reach out and I'm like, hey, we're here. And they're like, great. So we're going to set. So pull up to set. They're super nice. And Jason, you know, it's funny because my kid has no idea who he is. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh, you know, he's like, does he know who I am? I'm like, no. He's like, you didn't make him watch Aquaman? And I'm like, no. He's like, cool. So
It's like, I don't know. He's got to know you from this.
I'm like, so then we
And make him walk out.
You haven't showed him that movie? And I'm like, no.
We haven't had time.
He's like,
You
have
just
you
had
seen
18
it?
hours.
Have you seen Aquaman? I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't want to watch Aquaman.
Buddy, it's the lamest of all of them. It's that and the Wonder Twins were
So-
the two worst.
I'm like, I no, I haven't seen it.
When are we getting a Wonder Twins movie?
So we go, and he does this really cool thing where he sets up this walk into the soundstage where the curtain is drawn and then pulls it back, and there is Minecraft world, right?
Whoa.
And so we have a camera on Ellis, and he walks in, and he's like, whoa, shit. And he's like, oh, it's like Minecraft. I'm like, yeah, that's where they make the movie. This is the Minecraft movie. That's why we came here. And he's like running around, and it's like what you were imagining. You're like, because they have like, I mean, it's hard to describe, but it's like you're in the world, right? It's on a big, massive soundstage with blue screen in the background so they can do everything in post, but all the like the bones of it are there, and everything looks like it would in. He's running around, jumping, and you know, at one point they're like, "Hey, could you fucking tell him to take it easy on the set?"
He's not permanents.
Yeah, and they're like, "That's a $200,000 tree," and I'm like, "Yep." So I'm like, "Buddy, stop kicking shit," and you know, and so he finally is like, you know, spends time doing that, right? And then,
wow.
yeah, I think it comes out this year. It comes out soon. So then he like, it's the initial thing, and then he's like, "All right, like, what are we gonna do now?" I'm like, "This is it. This is what we came here for." He's like, "Really?"
Take him to Hobbiton.
I'm like, "Yeah." So we go back to the hotel, we crash, and then the next day, he's like, "What are we doing today?" I go, "We're going to the Minecraft set." He's like, "All right." And so we go back there, and now Jason.
Is he over it now?
Well, he's like, "Yeah, I saw that shit. Like, whatever." They're showing him props.
He's aware it's not the real world.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's aware of that. But they show him props and everything, so
Yeah.
it's like all stuff that like he's like, "Oh yeah, this is like the whatever, the sword and the And he's like, oh, it's so cool. And then he's like, okay. And then Jason has his dog, right? And his dog is like this, I think it was a movie dog at first, you know, like the trained movie dogs, like the dogs you see on shows and movies that are like, so it's this black, I forget the breed, but Ellis starts, that might be it. Yeah, Rama, that's
it's
it.
not his real dog.
It is his real dog.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's his dog, Rama. So
Okay.
Ellis just loves dogs, and he starts playing with the dog. And like they're, you know, it's like a kid and a dog. They're running in the parking lot, throwing a ball. They're showing that he does tricks.
Yeah.
And he's just like playing. And then we're like, hey, they're gonna shoot this scene right now for the movie. Like someone's gonna swing off of some, you know, I mean, some like special effect type of thing. I'm like, you want to come in? He's like, nah, I'm play with this dog. I'm like, okay. And then like he's doing it for like an hour, and then 2 hours, and then we're like, hey, there's other stuff going on. He's like, I'm good. I just want to hang out with this dog. And then I'm like, okay. And so we go to dinner later that night. We go to dinner. He has dinner with Jason and Jack
Aquaman.
Black.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, hey, you know what he's from? He's like, what? He's like, one of the
School of Rock,
the
maybe?
voice. He's School of Rock, but I think he's Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, I like that. And he's like, like he's
Playing it cool.
Yeah, like he's a producer. And he's like, that's good. You did good in that. And then I'm like, okay. And like, well, tomorrow's our last day. He's like, we're gonna see that dog? And I go, yeah, that could be arranged. And then my whole joke was that like I brought this kid to New Zealand to play with a dog because
that you could have met in LA.
yeah, I could have met him fucking at the Zilker Park, and that's his favorite memory of
New
that
Zealand.
trip. He was like, that dog was fucking awesome, man. I'm like, cool. But it's so funny because as a parent, you always have your ideal of like, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take him to visit a set of a movie that he's loves, and then he's like, that dog's fucking rad.
And then he just finds what he finds.
Yeah, that's it.
That actually reminds me when I was in Vietnam, we did the Coochie Tunnel tour.
Yeah.
You know, like going under where the Vietnamese fucking beat us. You know, and you go through the tunnels and stuff and see how they lived. And not great. Anne Frank lived better than they did.
Really?
Oh yeah. And then but then anyway, some like two like 7-ish-year-olds was with their family. They were just on, I don't know what kind of trip, but I just saw them with this long branch with a leaf on the end of it. And they were like playing with a cat. The cat trying to get it. And I was like,
Yeah.
your memory of Vietnam is going to be playing with that cat.
That's 100%. I remember asking my dad as he was, you know, getting older, and we'd hear talk always. There'd be a recurring thing to talk about Vietnam, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Was he in Vietnam?
yeah, in
The
combat.
Vietnam?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I go, "Would you ever want to go back to Vietnam?" And he goes, "Tommy, I don't like and I don't like food." I was like, all right.
You got to try Gook Fusion.
Yeah, fuck, man. Yeah. And he's like, Addy, what kind of fucking question is that?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
We tried to get my dad to go back to Romania. He goes, "No, I'm okay." I'm like, "Don't you want to see whatever?" And then a brother or sister, my mom, somebody was like, "Hey, his memories weren't that great at the end."
Yeah, they wasn't
wasn't good
very
times.
cool. I think anybody that, well, I mean, obviously people react different ways, but like when you see combat, right? And it's the simplest thing to say is that it's traumatizing to anyone. And he's like, you know, he's like, he's in a platoon. He's a lieutenant who has a platoon of 70 men.
Yeah.
Obviously, you lose men. You have people stand next to you,
Just get blown
die
up. Yeah.
or step on a mine, fucking blown in half. And he's like, I remember that plane leaving Saigon and the
With
relief.
him. Yeah.
Like what you feel as you're like looking out the window, like I'm leaving. I made it through combat, through a war zone. And he's like, I never want to fucking see that place ever again.
Wow.
I was like, that was pretty cool these days, though. They have some really
Yeah,
cool.
good jungles, good scenery too.
There's
Like,
some cool touristy spots if you want to hang out. I was like, I'm good.
It's a sunset boat cruise.
Yeah. You don't want to
That'd
do
be
that?
nice.
He's like, no. Okay. But the one sorry, so those were two quick asides, I guess.
Yeah.
But that
I got an aside for you.
Okay.
You were in Iceland and you were like, "Hey, can you tell me of a cool like hot spring or hot
Yeah.
bath?" And I didn't understand that you wanted to actually go to a cool one. I
Yeah.
thought you were trying to get it done like after your show.
No.
And I was like, yeah, an in-town like spa.
Do you know what ended up happening? Did I ever tell you what ended up happening?
You went somewhere cooler.
Well, we had the fucking, first of all, I cannot emphasize enough how mind-blowing the natural landscape of Iceland is. It
God
does
damn.
not
Yeah.
feel real. It doesn't feel real. I mean, it just, and
The greens are so green and and all that shit. I mean, just like
here's the thing,
lava rocks.
if you want to feel like you're a high-level photographer,
Yeah.
go to Iceland. Because everyone's pictures look like they're in National Geographic photos.
yeah. The bottom left there, that
The
it's
reds
like in the north.
The
yeah.
reds are so red. The you know what I mean? Like
It's like being made now. It's like the word.
Did you
is-
see? Can I show you one?
Yeah. Yeah, but you're like, we're gonna go to a natural one. I was like, oh, right.
Well, what ended up happening? We had this incredible guide,
Okay.
and this person took us, and like just if you can, just page to the right there.
Yeah.
Look at that, and you're like, am I on Mars?
Is this
Right?
in the north? Where is this?
This is like
Did you drive from?
we drove.
Reykjavik?
We
Okay.
drove.
Wow.
And they were like, oh yeah, this people have come here to shoot as Mars,
Wow, that house is down there.
right? It's just
Wow.
these I can send if you want them
Okay.
on there, but like the reds, and I was like, oh and they would go, oh yeah, that's like the natural, what is it, element that turns red has just come out here. So they go, yeah, it looks like you're on Mars.
Wow.
But we did it was like a 6 or 8 hour driving
Look
tour.
at this fucking pretend to look away. What a pose. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on
What's
here?
going- is this
Definitely
Mars?
not taking a selfie of me. What am I thinking about?
I'm
Fucking
thinking about
influencer.
that fucking Elon's gonna have some cool shit coming here.
Damn, that's crazy.
Everything there, like
That's what's there to do in Iceland is
Yeah.
drive and get out of your car for a minute.
I mean, the natural springs, but like every shot you take,
Rick Steves.
you know, you're like, oh, that looks like a professional took that.
Yeah,
That's just me going click, you know.
Yeah, the reflection's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's just everything was just so astonishing, and we were just completely blown away. But oh yeah, the springs thing on that journey, I was like, I want the authentic, and the guy was like, oh, I know the best one. And we get there, and they're like, you still have to. It's still a place that runs it. They're like, but this is not the touristy one. This is like,
Okay.
and they were like, we pulled up, and they were like, they're closed. They're doing some type of like. And I was like, they're like, yeah, they won't let us in. So then we ended up having to go to like one of the big touristy ones, which was still fucking,
But natural.
yeah, natural,
Okay.
yeah. But still, it was still awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
It was just like full of people.
Oh.
And
the
they-
one
you-
they shot Game of Thrones in, where
Yeah.
the guy fucked the wildling chick, like in the sauna, whatever. A fissure broke, and you can't go in there anymore.
Oh, really?
The temperature went up like 20 degrees Celsius,
And
and
they're
like a
like-
little crack more, so the more lava came in. So there was like, now you'll die.
You'll die in here.
Yeah.
Which you can if you want. If you want to, it's a pretty cool experience.
It's pretty cool. It's a Game of Thrones experience.
It's a cool way to die. Do you thought about how you want to die?
Yeah,
Really?
in your arms.
Mine
Yeah,
specifically?
yeah. Come on, Fates. What about you? How do you want to go?
I mean, I think you want it to be quick. That's the only thing.
Can you quickly Google how will Tom Segura die? See what comes up.
God damn it! I hate that I know there's going to be an answer. Well, that's just about my dad dying.
Oh, it just reminded you of the thing you're missing most in life.
Shit.
All right, it's not there.
Fuck. What do you when you plan trips? Because you're like the travel guy. Obviously, everybody knows this. Like,
I have a podcast about it. You Be Trippin.
I want to do it.
Check it out. Yeah, I'd love to have you on.
How do you approach? What is your approach to a new trip? Like, I don't know where somewhere you haven't been yet that you want to go.
Morocco.
Okay.
Hella.
So what? Like, take me through how you plan that trip.
Okay. I'm a pretty bad traveler.
What?
I'm not prepared. I get so nervous around people. I just keep throwing myself into it. I'm frightened for a couple days.
So this
everywhere
is part
I go.
of the. So, but what do you book?
I end up having a good time. It's
What
like
do-
going out
what-
with your friends. Like we're all going drinking. Like, oh, and then you go out and you're like, that was fun.
What do you book before it?
Okay. Sometimes I'll do some research. I'll try on the plane at least learn those words.
Right.
And then if I remember too, it's like how much is the cab from the airport to downtown area?
Just so you don't get hosed.
I
yeah.
feel like you're right out of the right. You're like this, and everyone's coming at you to hustle you.
So you have your hotel booked? You're at least your first one?
When I'm traveling on Southeast Asia, no,
No.
that was hosteling. You get there, you find out.
But you go to a hostel?
Then 4 months. Yeah, I was hosteling.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Are you like the old guy at the hostel?
There were sometimes older guys, but also I've lived in comedy, so they were like, I remember those gap year Canadians. That I was like, yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian, and then they were like, we had a fun day.
Yeah.
4 Canadian chicks. They were so cool, and still friends with them, and then they came back and it's like, you're 42. I was like, yeah. They're like, you're a stand-up comedian, and I was like, yeah. I was like, we looked up your, and then they were like, I listened to your podcast. They started with the Danish O'Neill podcast, and they're like, it was a lot of fucking retards right away. It's not for me.
It's not
they were
for
just
me.
like good liberal. No, I'm bad. I got to Guatemala. I had like 2 weeks off. I tried two new countries a year. I got to Guatemala, meeting people. I stayed in hostels there too.
Really?
Because I was like, I haven't hosteled for a while, and I
But
want
this
to.
is so you want it because it really is a more like
You meet people.
social experience.
Yeah, and they're like, where are you going hiking? And I was like, is there good hiking here? And it was like, everybody was like, did you research? Why did you come here? I'm like, I don't know.
I just wanted to see
I was a
something.
direct flight from my one gig to the next.
That's crazy.
And they're like, it's like made for hiking.
So are there certain places though where you go, I want the hotel experience? Like, do you ever do that, or is that just forbidden for you?
No, I do.
You do. Okay.
I don't want it like a Punta Cana
No,
resort.
But yeah.
But also no. If I'm in like Maui or some shit, we went to Polynesia.
Yeah.
French Polynesia, and was like, no, let's get a resort here.
Okay.
Let's like get pampered.
Got you.
You know.
So it depends on the location. What you don't want is to go to like the play. Like you don't want to go to Morocco to be at the resort. You
Yeah.
want to like
Be in a hotel
You want
the
to
whole
be
time.
in the action.
Yeah.
But
So-
you do feel fear. You're also like,
dude,
wow.
always.
Okay.
Do you get scared? I mean,
Yeah.
places like that now, as in more as an adult now, would you?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, I'll tell you where I really want
I
to
think
go.
I'm gonna get hustled. I think I'm just nervous.
I love Argentina. I've only been to Buenos Aires, and I want to go to other parts of it. I really want to visit Brazil, and I've never been to Brazil. And Brazil, I know I'm friends with Brazilian people. Brazil has a reputation of everyone's always like,
Be careful.
be on high alert, you know? So do I want to stay in like a hostel when I'm there? Not really.
No, yeah.
But I also want a Brazilian experience, you know? So to me, like the ideal way that I would approach Brazil is I'd go, I want to stay in a nice hotel, but it's about connecting with a local that's the real gift is if you have
Yeah.
a local to be like, let's go here, let's go there.
So
So
when
when
I
I go to
yeah.
Lima, when I go to visit family in Peru, I'll either stay with family or stay in a nice hotel. But my cousins are like, they're the ones that take me out. So I get the most authentic, they're not just taking me like a touristy place.
That's what you want. I call it boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So like, not what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to eat? But like, what do you guys?
And here's the thing I think that is good advice for people because I've
Like if you
had-
come to New York, I'm taking you to the bar that has a cool playlist on Mondays if it's Monday.
Exactly.
But it's not in a book.
like
What were you
you
gonna
can that you can sometimes if you're like, well, I don't know anyone in Brazil, I get that, but what you can start doing is having conversations in your home city about does anyone know somebody in Brazil, and you'll find somebody that goes like, yeah, so and so married to a Brazilian guy or whatever, and then you start telling that person, I'm going to visit your country, dude. 99% of the time they go like, let me connect you with my friend, and then that because like I had that
wow.
experience in with Tokyo where you go like, I'm going to Tokyo, I fucking can't wait to see this city, but I know somebody that knows somebody, so you start getting recommendations about like places that are not going to be on a Google search.
Yeah. We wandered in this one spot. Oh, what is it? I don't know, but it's like on this corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went to Havana, it was like I wanted to stay somewhere.
went to Havana?
Me and Bobby Kelly.
How was that?
Dude, it was like life. I went for the election to get away from it.
You went to Cuba?
Yeah, me and Bobby Kelly.
That's like near the top of my list.
You should go. I'll get tips for you later.
Where'd you stay?
So they have casas. They call them casas, but like it's just like homestays.
How'd you fly? What's the flying route?
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think?
like through Mexico or is there a direct? Not
There's 20 direct flights a day from Miami, 10, 15 more from Houston.
Really?
And they've never, since Obama, they never stopped.
I had no idea.
Yeah, right?
No.
Yeah. So you go. It's so cool. There was a hurricane. We lost power for 2 days. The country lost power for 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but that was an experience.
And what did you get into? Did you like
Cigars? A lot of cigars because Bobby's way into it, and I was like, let's do that for sure. He let me get drunk. Like it wasn't like a problem, but also live music, all this fucking, you know.
And how were locals?
Friendly, a little bit in the touristy parts were like not. I mean, I did get scammed pretty hard.
What did you get scammed with?
They made me buy. The guy pretty much forced me to buy these clearly fake cigars. He was just pressuring me. I'm like, okay, here's all my Canadian money. Like,
Yeah.
like take it. And I just had a bunch of fake cigars.
Oh, okay. Fake cigars?
I mean, they still worked during the hurricane. We smoked them,
But they're
they're like
shit.
these are trash.
Yeah.
But like, who cares? It was like $100. But we were gonna go outside of Havana, but then the hurricane really stopped it. They were like, it's hitting tomorrow. You aren't getting back in town. You don't want to be there. It might hit there.
Food?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
We got told it was like terrible. Don't even go into it. So we went in going. We just got a lot of coffee.
You were told that Cuban food was bad?
They don't have spices and shit there. They can't
but
do
I've had-
trade. The Cuban food you've had is in America with full access. It's like the pre-1960s Cuba food would have been
Jesus.
great. They can't do shit. It's so poor because of what we've done to them.
Did you wear a bunch of like watches and jewelry and shit? That's what you're missing out on, bro.
It is funny when you have to take out your money because you can't use ATMs there. American ATMs won't, credit cards won't work, so you just have to have cash.
Dollars.
Yeah, so you stay in somebody's house where they've set up a separate room with a separate entrance for you. They might cook you breakfast, but then you tip them at the end. And that's the only way you can acquire wealth, is
getting
sieving
tipped.
money off foreigners in a nice way. Oh yeah, you should go.
How long did you stay for?
6 days.
That's a
Six
good-
days.
Yeah.
Mhm. The hurricane was 2 full days, but
You had
what
to
an
play. You had
experience.
this casa thing booked.
Yeah. Oh, so what I was gonna say is I want to stay in a more authentic part of Havana, not like whatever. And Bobby's like, I looked up pictures. It's fucking dangerous, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just ceded.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, if it was me, I'd want to get my hands dirty,
Yeah.
but like, I don't want you being scared.
I might do the Bobby route.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also, we got our hands dirty there.
That's cool. I want to go to Cuba really bad.
Okay. Yeah. So, but that's what I mean. It's like it depends. I'll stay depending on the the experience. Where do you want to go? Where's left on your list?
So like I said, I definitely want to do Brazil. I
Yeah.
would love to do Cuba.
I went to Brazil with Rogan. 2 days on a UFC trip.
Was that cool? I mean, it's a different experience, but
The beaches were wild. The fat chick, their confidence in the fat chicks there.
it's awesome.
Yeah, like and you're like, just let it out, smooth fat everywhere. There's thighs, but they're like, you want it, and like you sort of do.
I want to go. Like I said, I want to go back to Argentina to explore more.
Are you willing to admit now that you're not Argentinian? I know you were like hiding the
This is like for
Peruvian.
for 20 years,
Yeah.
or whatever. The time I've known Joey Diaz, he'll be like, Tommy, the Argentinian. I go, fucking, how many times do I have to tell you? I'm not Argentinian.
You want to be though, because they're the highest level.
They are the highest level.
Yeah.
And I do love their arrogance and the fact that they know they're better.
Just
But
because you're a valet person, you
but-
think you're better than these listos.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love their attitude. I want to go to Uruguay too. As another.
Where's that? Bottom.
No. Between.
Sorry.
Yeah. The small little. But I would love to visit that. I also want to do. Wait. Sorry.
When we were going to Cuba, by the way, this is what it does. Once you know you're going to a place, it opens up. I had a cab driver.
Yeah.
And here, and I was like, "Are you Cuban?" Because he had a little flag. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Where should I go in Havana?" He goes, "Oh yeah, let's go." I'm like, "No, I'm going. Tell me." And then it was like shitty English, but like,
Told you where.
yeah, and it was like a fun.
That's the
it's
thing.
like you see these opportunities after that.
So I have. I want to go to Antarctica because I want to do one of those like expedition trips. I think that would be
Is
rad.
that the south one or the north one?
The south, and I want to do.
That would
I
be
haven't.
cool.
I haven't explored.
Be cool to set foot on that continent.
I want to go to Korea. I would love to do things like Bali, like Indonesia. I've never been to Russia. I think that would be fun.
You want to go to Russia?
I would like to see it. Yeah.
No interest.
No interest.
Not mad at it. I just like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like my top
Those are
list
all
right
great.
now. Yeah.
You can also do shows at some of those places, or you could just not. I guess to be honest.
I like the last Asia tour was around shows and days off, which was awesome.
You're doing more days off now.
Yeah, especially if I do a trip like that. I'm not fucking gonna go in and out of Asia.
Well, Friday, Saturday. Take time.
Yeah, spend some time. Yeah, Hong Kong's so rad. I mean, like
I want to do this as an episode of you. Who's it? Pete Lee.
Yeah.
Who'd you go to Hong Kong with? You, Pete Lee, and
Chad Daniels.
Chad Daniels. I want to get all three of you in to talk about that trip.
And there's a documentary about it. You know,
Oh yeah.
I'm real fat in that. You'd like that.
Oh, I would.
It's called. Here, look up the shot. It's called "I Need You to Kill." Look how fat I am in this. No, that's not that's fat, but it's not as fat. Hit images, yeah. Look how fat I am.
Wow. I mean, you look like you're having trouble breathing.
Look.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was really fun, man. We really had a great time.
Who brought you out there? Was it Pete something? Was it Lee? Something Lee?
Yeah. I'm like Louis Lee.
Louis Lee.
Louis Lee, yeah. He owns Acme.
That must have been a
Clothing in
wild
Minneapolis.
experience.
And
too,
he's from
being
Hong
out there
Kong.
with comics.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun. You can watch that on Prime Video.
How does Chad look the same age?
J. Elvis Weinstein. The joke there was I was like, "You're so handsome."
The Chad Daniels?
And I was like, I go, "You know who you look like? You look like Richard Gere." And he was like, "What?" And then I would tell local Asians, I go, "You know Richard Gere?" And they were like, "What?" And I'd go, "That's Richard Gere." And so they would approach him and be like, "Richard Gere?" And he'd be like, "Motherfucker." Like he would or like I would tell
Splice on.
the other one I would tell people that he was in his like 56.
Yeah.
And he was like,
He looks
whatever.
way older there than he must have been.
But they would go, "You look amazing," because he doesn't look 56.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You're 56." And he was like, "No." And
Look how fat you are.
I know. Yeah.
I guess last question is travel advice. Any about there or anywhere in general?
Travel advice.
Take your gap year, not bad.
The one thing I would also say is like, is what I was talking about earlier, is I fight it within myself, and I encourage you to, it's kind of like just say yes. Like, say yes. You can be cool and be like, "I'm just going to sit here in my room or at this hotel bar," or,
Yeah.
you know, what. But it's, take the adventure. Do the things, you know. Say hello. Walk up to people. Say hi. The worst that's going to happen is they're going to be like, "I don't want to talk to you."
Yeah.
But
when we were in Rio for the UFC, they get strict orders like it's dangerous, don't go out. We have a bodyguard with everybody, a bodyguard / driver.
Yeah.
And our bodyguard guy told us, Rogan was like, he's an alarmist. He likes it. You know, he's like, "Is this dangerous?" He goes, "They're not going to fuck with your two men.
Yeah.
They want to fuck with an alone old person.
Yeah.
They don't want to fight."
Yeah.
But then they were like, "Don't go anywhere near the favelas." It's
Yeah.
like the city, and then as soon as the hills.
Well,
it's
that's
like that.
probably good advice, right?
John Jones just goes to parties in there. He just like, "No, I'm going in and deep by himself, just partied in the favelas."
Just to be clear, though, he's a bit of an anomaly.
Sure. But it's not gonna be hand-to-hand combat.
No,
They're gonna
I
have to
know.
pull a gun on him.
Yeah, but also,
Yeah, he's an anomaly.
I don't know that I would encourage people to like go to parties in favelas. Just do it. I think you see City of God. I think the thing is though,
So yes, it's not bad.
say yes to things, and yeah, I mean, for God's sake, the obvious: try food, talk to people. You're always the thing that blows you away a lot of times is just how the engagement of just saying hello, asking a question. So many times people are like willing to help and willing to point things out to you. You know, it's like when you're trying to language. People always go like, "Oh, I'm gonna embarrass myself." Most of the time, when someone sees you making an effort, like what if somebody were trying
Correct
that
you.
with you?
Yeah.
You go like, "Oh yeah," you try to help them. You know, it's like.
Necesito practicar. Once I say that, they go, "Okay, you can keep going." Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
speak English, but you can try it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a guy just fucking straight up try to almost humiliate me for how bad I'm saying something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Relax,
okay,
bro.
yeah, just chill, man. Fucking trying here.
One of the jokes I remember from Hong Kong, somebody there. No, was it It was maybe Shanghai. Anyway, one of them, Shanghai, and he goes, they just won't help you if you don't pronounce the word right. He goes, like, if I go to New York, this is how it's assholes. Imagine I go to America,
Yeah.
and I go, "Where's the Empire State Building?" And they go, "We don't know what the fuck that is."
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, "No, Empire State Building."
This-
Like, "Nope, never heard of it."
This happened to me in every European country where I had no familiarity with language. Because I was in Budapest, I was in Berlin, and I was like, "How do you say?" And I remember the person was like in Budapest, I was like, "What's up?" Is like "Michinas."
Yeah.
And I was like, Michinas. And the guy was like, huh? I go, Michinas. And I'm like, what is that? And I was like, what's up? Michinas. And I'm like, that's what I just said. I said that. And he was like, no, you said this other shit. And then Germany is the same thing. I asked the lady, I was like, what's like a silly insult? And I remember she goes, Popnauser. It means like a cardboard nose, some fucking foreign weird shit.
Yeah.
And so I say it to our driver. And thankfully I had told the guys about the Budapest one, and then we're driving. And I tell the driver, and he's like, what is this? And I'm like, Popnauser? He's like, what is that? I thought it was like cardboard nose. And he's like, oh, Popnauser. I was like, and we all just were like, I don't know what the fuck is. But I mean, our
That's a fun
accent
one, though.
must be like so far off, and you
talking
can't hear it
Glaswegian.
because you don't have an ear
Yeah.
for it. And you're like, I thought I just said that.
My brother told me one in the German-speaking ones, Sitzpisser, which just means sit pisser. That's pretty much you're gay.
Yeah.
You sit when you piss.
They have a word for someone who only shits at home.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Germany does. Yeah.
That's a negative?
They're just like, you are. I had the. I didn't tell you this about Tunisia.
Yeah.
That German left. Another German arrived, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be 2 for 2 with Germans.
Like, nice,
and
yeah.
blonde, more like traditional German blonde,
Yeah.
And I guess I was like,
Holding 4 beers in
Yeah.
each hand with fucking braziers. Yeah.
and my buddy was like with her friend, and I'm talking to her, and we're in the pool, and we're just, it's just like flirty, whatever. But I'm not making the impression on her. And so when we all go out at night, she was like, what is it with you? And I'm like, I don't know, what am I doing wrong? And she goes, you remind me of a cold egg. I remember that. And I'm like, where's my heroin addict?
That's so mean.
I know. you remind me of a cold egg. That was
Why
25
do you
years
say that
ago.
to someone?
I was like,
not they remind me of a cold. You right to your
you.
face.
Yeah, you. I was like, and I remember telling Ryan, I was like, yeah, I go, she didn't like me.
How can you tell? My
Yeah.
God, trust me.
Yeah. He's like, no, she likes him. I'm like, no.
All right, Tommy.
Yeah, that was fun, man. And America's Sweetheart's out.
America's Sweetheart's still out.
is Jill.
Maybe I'll put it out early. We'll do a different one. Would you come and do this again? This is fun, right?
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's like
When does Jill
memories.
come out on Netflix?
They're deciding.
They're deciding.
They're figuring out when the right time is.
It's a really good hour.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for doing it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, everybody. How do you say goodbye in Tunisian? Do you know?
Au revoir.
Is it?
Well,
It's French?
They speak French, but
Okay.
I don't know how to say goodbye in Arabic.
Asala. Bislema?
Bislema. That
not
means
bad.
with safety. With and safety.
Oh.
Right?
Shalom is peace. Yeah, bislema.
Bislema.
With peace.
Oh, there's the other greetings. Aslema is a common greeting. Narik zin. Narik tayyib.
That's pretty good. That sounds like legit, the way you're saying it. You're pretty
I'm
good.
telling you, I like it. I always try to do. I did Arabic lessons on Duolingo.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
You try?
I tried. I did Japanese for
Over
a while
1,000 days
on
on
Babbel. Are you 1,000?
Yeah.
I'm
think
just
1050.
I'm just short of 1,000 in Italian right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been great.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, that's the episode, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. To fucking Tunisia. That was a cool one. Tom Segura brought me to Tunisia. I got a guest in here, but he's not on camera. Sorry, Jay. If you liked it, please reach out to Tom Segura and tell him you enjoyed it. He reads every single comment on Instagram and YouTube. And if you let him know you had a good time, he'll be more likely to come back. And he's a really good guest. He's been to some cool places. I want to do one with him, with Pete Lee and who did he go to Hong Kong with? Chad Daniels. Thank you. Chad, no disrespect. I have a block on your name. I love you. You're one of my favorite comics, but I have a block on your name. I also, what's that? I can't remember that either. What's the big fucking gross orange? Grapefruit? Grapefruit is another thing I have a block on. Anyway, Guys, have you watched America's Sweetheart yet? I hope you have. It's on Netflix right now. It's my newest work, and it's the best special of 2025. And I know it's early. Watch it. Tell me what you think of the closer. Tell me what you think of all of it. Leave a comment here. Subscribe, please, on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're watching or listening. My farewell tour is on right now. Los Angeles this weekend, then Brea, Nashville, both with Adrian Appalucci, San Antonio with Ari Matty, Tampa, Denver. That's a greatest hit show. That's the only reason I can go back before 2029 is do a themey show in Denver. Schaumburg, Atlanta, Portland, San Jose, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and then finishing it off in June in Anchorage, and then I'm gone for a while till 2027. Tom Segura, he should rename his tour Where the Rodeo Is, because that's where he plays. Pretty much wherever the rodeo plays in town, that's where Tom Segura plays. I play in places where if you sit in the front row, you can touch my foot. Athens, Georgia, Savannah, Charleston, Boston, Washington, D.C., Tulsa, Durant, Austin, Evansville, Fisher, Chicago, Illinois, where the fucking Michael Jordan statue is. Please come on Michael's Jordan statue. If you can't come there, come on your hand, bring it in, and before the Tom Segura show, rub it on Michael Jordan's leg. Dublin, Belfast, Manchester, London, Glasgow, here we fucking go. Nottingham, Cardiff, New York City, Oklahoma City, Houston, Fargo. God damn, Tom. St. Paul, Madison, Anchorage, Tacoma, Idaho Falls, Billings, Moline, Bristol, St. Louis, Springfield, Albany, Verona, and Rochester. God, you hate your family, don't you, Tom? You fucking hate your family. There's no other reason to be out that much. No, I'm joking. He's my boss. He's not really my boss. One time, though, he brought me on the road to Indianapolis. He was like, it's a break-even week. You just come feature, but she might book you later. And he had some Jew jokes, and then the lady who ran the club tapped into her at the end, and she started going, while I was on stage, she goes, should we throw money at him? And Tom's like, no, not on stage. Today's episode was produced by Your Mom's House Network and edited by Alan Caffey. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Next week, Jim Gaffigan is on, talking about Portugal. That's another word I have a block on. All right, guys, subscribe. Listen to the Patreon, patreon.com/You Be Trippin, and that's it. Until next week, assalamu alaikum. Goodbye.